This piece on the second or astral death is taken from Reincarnation, the Hope of the World by Irving S Cooper. The second or astral death, read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. After death, we find ourselves conscious and active in that part of the unseen region surrounding the earth which is known as the astral world. Here we live for several years, usually about 25, entering into the interesting activities of that world, keeping in touch with our friends, whether they are physically incarnated or not, and getting rid in the meantime of any impurities which may have crept into our character during the life on earth. This part of our existence corresponds to the paradise of some Christian churches and the purgatory of others, although in connection therewith we should rid our minds of all ideas of punishment. It is true that some people do suffer during this part of their existence, not, however, because they are being punished, but because of the inevitable reaction for some bad habit or wrongdoing to which they were accustomed while on earth. Further, the suffering is not forever and ever, but is only temporary and of a purifying nature. No hell exists except in the imagination of men. After a while, when the astral body in which we are conscious in that world has served its purpose, we sever our relationship with it, a sort of astral death, and then find ourselves vividly conscious in that portion of the unseen region known as the mental world, which corresponds to the Christian idea of heaven. In that world we spend by far the greater part of the period between one incarnation and the next. During this portion of our existence, we assimilate the experiences we gain during the previous incarnation on earth, develop into faculties and powers all the training we received, and weave into the fabric of our character all the lessons taught. This is the happiest part of the whole cycle as well as the longest, and while we are no longer in touch directly with physical events and physical people, we are in the most sympathetic relationships with the minds of those we love and admire, which in reality is much more satisfactory than any physical relationship can ever be, because the possibilities of unhampered and joyous communion are so much greater. Still later, we cast off the radiant mind-body, and then we realize our oneness with the soul, the divine self of man. It is the soul-body alone that endures and grows through all the centuries, for the physical, emotional and mental bodies are used for one incarnation only. In other words, the physical body, with which we commonly identify ourselves, the emotional body, which so clearly reveals our character, and the mind-body with which we think, are, as we know them, but for one incarnation only. The consciousness in us which persists throughout the centuries and by which are retained all the memories of the past is that of the soul or ego, manifested in the soul body.